What's up, guys? Boba the Fell-Handed here, bringing you another edition of MapQuest. Here we are on Fjords. The greens have spawned on the eastern side, the reds have spawned on the western side. We are in the Tier 10 French medium tank, the Batchat 25T. Now, in this episode here, we are going to go right flank, go to the top of the hill here, see if we can't maybe catch the reds before they fully get into position. No guarantees, but that is what we're shooting for. Now, when you get up here, it's very important to stay hull down, if at all possible, no matter what tank you're in. You want to try to keep yourself from getting in a poor position. And, if you stay hull down and you do laterals, which is turning the hull 90 degrees to the enemy, in other words, giving the enemy side shots if he could see your hull, and you just move back and forth, that'll kind of, make it more difficult for him to connect with you. Of course, the position we're in right here, around this corner, it's going to make doing laterals really impossible, because you kind of need a uninterrupted area in order to, perform that maneuver. Anything with a little hump, that's continuous is perfect for that. Just a FYI. But at any rate, the idea here is we're going to pull up on top of this hill, and we're going to try to get some shots in, and we're going to try to be hull down. And I know what you're thinking. Oh well, the Batchat doesn't have any turret armor. Hull down's not really going to do anything. It minimizes your tank profile. So it does things, it's just not going to give you a benefit as far as your armor is considered. So right now we're just trying to toenail some shots in there, in the red there we were staring at. And we were hull down, he fired at us and missed. And it's not going to happen every time, I wouldn't expect it to, but the less of your tank that is visible to the enemy, the better off you'll be. And that's something you need, to retain, because that's not just bat-chatting, that's good tanking all around. Now, the gun is about to be up here. We are about to put some rounds on target, if at all possible. And what you're seeing right here is more or less textbook hull down. You don't really want the reticle to dip in too much to your terrain. But from my location where I was at, I didn't really have much of an option, because if I move just in the slightest, it's going to knock my gun completely off. Normally you want to have the reticle, even with the ground or the cover you're behind. So in this case, I kind of had the dead center, the little circle there, the tiny one in the very middle is actually where your physical bore is aimed. That's where your round is going to come out of, and the larger area is your dispersion. So I just had enough to physically have the gun over it, and that what that means is if you fire, there's a good chance that your round is just going to derp into the ground. We didn't get any of that, luckily. I don't know how. At any rate, we're fine. We ended up getting some good shots in, and it seemed like the gun did not troll us too bad. And I know you guys have seen the gun just really troll on both ends, and luckily I'm on the other end of it today. Make a good little clutch shot there. And guys, if you've got a lightly armored target, or you're firing to the sides or the rear of a target, you could feel safe to auto lock. You need to focus on driving. The issue comes is when you're shooting tanks that are difficult to pin. You really need to scope in. So I've got a Motherland here. I'm going to see if I can't put a couple of rounds in him. I got one in him there. I'm in a very bad position right now. I've got enemies on almost all sides. I've put myself in a flank position, and it's not going to go good for me at all. I'm in a tight situation, but you know what? I've been in tight situations before. I'm going to try to get out of it, and I'm going to see if I can't show you guys how to get out of said type situations that you may get into. So, right now, The gun is almost back up, and we're starting to get some ground. We're starting to get to where we're comfortable now with moving around, and we have no fear of immediately getting, clipped out or attacked or what have you. Originally when I drove in and there was tanks on every side of me, I said, well, this is the end of it. This is the end of me. But we ended up pulling out of that one, so good for us, and the goal here is just to keep moving forward, keep the gun running, see if we can't do some things here. Now, I'm in a bad position to fight this E100, but he is in a worse position because his gun from that location will not angle down enough to connect with me. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you had an STB if that would be enough, because from where I'm currently firing, I am considerably lower than the E100. Of course, I'm going to mess up, of course, and he's going to put one in me, but I'm doing very well on the clip. I'm pumping the clip into him, and in these situations, you just need to make sure every shot counts. You need to use everything to your disposal. You need to make sure you aim them all in. The E100 finally connects with a shot and gets me off of the board there post haste, which in his eyes was an excellent move because I caused him a lot of grief. I put a lot of rounds in his lower plate, and normally if you're firing at a 90-degree angle on a flat surface, the lower plate is around 235-ish, and if you're underneath the tank firing up into the lower plate, oh man, it's low. It's in the 160s, 170s. I haven't ran the exact numbers. You could pull it up in Armor Inspector if you are so inclined. Easy penetration. So I put a lot of rounds in the E100, and he went ahead and got me off the board, which was a very wise decision. Granted, of course, it was a bit late in the game to make any real difference. Guys, please remember to like, subscribe, and share. We'll see you next time.